Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Girls and Gays Let's Talk. Today, we're going to be piggybacking off of our last AI episode. And if nobody's heard yet about the woman who thinks her psychiatrist is in love with her, this is going to be a wild ride.
Which I do find this to be very interesting. And I am pretty much going blind into this.
Yes.
I wanted to not know.
And I don't think I'm going to do it justice just because there's so much to cover, but I try to pick like the most important parts and everything.
Okay.
So hopefully, if you think this is crazy, it's even crazier. So this woman has been seeing a psychiatrist, and what a psychiatrist does is they prescribe you medications. They see you 15 to 30 minutes every month until they can get your medication stabilized. Whereas a therapist, it's talk therapy. They talk to you, and those are typically longer, about an hour and everything. But this is about her psychiatrist, so her medication psychiatrist. So she struggles with ADHD, and she is an ADHD coach now. And she is also a sober coach. And with coaching and things like that, they're not regulated. So like they can be very dangerous if somebody doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So she was seeing the psychiatrist for a while. And one of the questions that he asked her was, do you have thoughts about self-harm? Because that's something that they need to know. Yeah. And she was like, no. And he goes, okay, because it's a specialty of mine. And she took it as, that's my special interest in you. And it's like, okay, all right. We could justify that a little bit, I guess.
I don't know. So she's reading into something that's not there already.
She's reaching, yeah.
Yeah.
And then she goes on about how he's such a good listener. He listens to her and he just...
That's his job.
Right? No, get this. She said it's because he's a Pisces that he's a good listener. She brought astrology into this.
How does she find out his birthday is my question?
I don't know. Because sometimes doctors will be like, oh yeah, my birthday's coming up. Or,
that's true.
Depending on the relationship that you have with them. And
yeah, but I don't know my doctor's birthday. That's such a weird thing.
I don't know my therapist's birthday, but I know her anniversary is around mine. So, because we were planning around the same time.
That's funny. I do know my doctor's maiden name. It's because it's the same as mine.
Oh, wow.
And so we had a whole conversation about it when I first went in there. Actually, we kind of talked like that. We're like, we could be related somewhere down the road. She's like, we could.
That's crazy. Yeah. But so she says that it's because he's a Pisces that he's a good listener and not the many years of school that he went to. And so she decides, you know what? I need to see a therapist as well, talk therapist. So she finds a talk therapist. She's an older woman in her 70s. And allegedly, this psychiatrist is feeding into her delusions. So this psychiatrist is now becoming another victim in this alleged, my therapist fell in love with me.
Dang. But I'm also questioning, like, what all is she telling her? Because people lie to their therapist.
Yes. So if you're lying to your therapist, you shouldn't do that if you want to get true help.
Yeah.
But she said that this therapist would ask questions and also give her validation on the psychiatrist being in love with her.
Golly.
It's like, okay.
Yeah, she needs a new therapist.
Exactly. But we're getting there. We're going to get there. Okay. Trust me. It's a ride. And so time goes by. She gets into a car accident and she goes to urgent care to make sure, everything's okay. The urgent care doctor there says, I think that you should go to the ER to make sure you don't have any kind of internal bleeding. And she's like, I can't do that. I see my psychiatrist at 2:00. I don't want to miss that appointment. So she's putting her health in jeopardy to see the psychiatrist. And allegedly, whenever she has the appointment, she tells him, I was in a car accident. The urgent care doctor said I should go to an ER, but I didn't want to miss my appointment. And apparently he just doesn't even mention anything. He doesn't stop the appointment and be like, you need to go to the ER or anything like that. Because in her mind, because these psychiatrists psychiatry appointments. It's just her like, oh my God, I'm in such awe of you. Like, you're amazing. You're such a good listener. And like, she's just stroking his ego with this. Allegedly. I don't know how true it is, because I know some psychiatrists, if you get off topic, they'll like
bring you back.
Yeah, they'll bring you back. Exactly. And so she goes on to say how like he doesn't compliment her directly. Like he sees that she has turtle shell glasses and he'll say, oh, I really like turtle shell glasses. So that way it would be ethical. Dude, get this. So in these videos that she's posting on TikTok, she's wearing the turtle shell glasses. And from her mouth, she says, and I'm only wearing these just in case he sees my videos because I know he likes them so much.
Oh my God.
George's jaw just dropped and his eyes got wide.
What crazy.
Yeah.
She needs to be committed.
Mentally unstable, I would say. Crazy is like a harsh word to use for somebody.
Crazy's crazy.
Yeah. I guess you're right on that.
It's always in the eyes too. You know by looking at someone.
Oh yeah, yeah, and like you could tell, like just looking in her eye, like not looking in her eyes, but seeing her eyes, because she's on TikTok Live all the time as well, and like she has that manic look in her eyes, and like you can tell whenever somebody's manic, you know?
Yeah.
Or at least I can, because one of my friends, like she goes through stages of being manic and everything, and it's pretty obvious to find the pointers, but. She has this ER doctor friend who is feeding into the delusion as well. And her ER doctor friend allegedly said, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if he dismissed you as a patient and came to find you in 2 years to pursue you whenever it would be more ethical. And it's like, because certain states have certain laws where...
Yeah, 2 years is like the recommended amount.
Yes. And allegedly, she told the psychiatrist about it, and he didn't say anything to her. He's just silent. And then, so she thought that he was using her diagnosis as a way to manipulate her as well. Because in psychiatry, they don't always have to tell you what the discussion is. Like, they can bring it up. Because whenever I was diagnosed with PTSD, I didn't know until I started looking at my chart, like through the portal and everything. I'm like, I have PTSD? What? But yeah, so they're not required to tell you the diagnosis. You can ask or they can bring it up in discussion, but it's not like a manipulation tactic or anything like that, you know?
That's funny. I always look at my chart, no matter what. Most of the time, I'm like, I don't know what none of this means, but at least I'm looking at it.
Yes, exactly. And so she gets into a relationship and she starts telling her psychiatrist sexual details about their sex life. Okay. And apparently she's like, he's eating this all up. He's enjoying it. And it's like, girl, like, know some boundaries. But if all of this is true, I don't know why he wouldn't like
cut her off.
Not cut her off, because what's psychiatric patients sometimes like you don't want them to feel abandoned because it could like spark something else and it could be dangerous to just quickly discharge a patient like that.
But you like recommend them to somebody else. You like move them to somebody else. Yeah. Somebody you feel that will be better for them. Like you wouldn't put them with another male. You'll put her with the female. Yeah.
But then it would just probably feed into her delusion of he's coming for me in 2 years.
Yeah, but she'll start to forget him over time.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, right now she's too much into the delusion to recognize it. Mm-hmm. But he can, if he moves her away, out of sight, out of mind, especially with somebody with ADHD.
True, yeah.
So you don't see someone, you're going to forget them.
Yeah, but how could she not forget him if she was seeing him once a month?
I know, but you're going to be seeing somebody else.
Yeah. And so...
And that person's job is going to be for them to realize she's being crazy.
Yeah. Oh. And so she was telling him, like, I'm tracking my cycles. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And then her and her boyfriend get into a rough patch in the bedroom. So she's talking to her talk therapist about this. And the 70-year-old woman is like, why don't you talk to your psychiatrist about this? You know, from a male's perspective, he can probably have some good insight for you. So she's like, is that a good idea? So she ends up telling him, and she's like, he's eating it up. He's enjoying it. I just know. And mind you, these are 30-minute appointments, okay? It's not like an hour. So she has seen this man for, is it 30 minutes? It's like, what, 6 hours out of the whole year?
Yeah.
So she's seen this man for 6 hours, and she's been seeing him for 3 years. So she's known this man a whole day.
Yeah.
So she ends up breaking up with her boyfriend, and she starts dating a therapist. And during their second date with this therapist, not her psychiatrist, not anybody related to her, it's just some random man that she started dating who happened to be a therapist. Her date starts talking about how he's in love with the patient and how before he sees this patient, he has to relieve himself so that way he can keep it professional with her.
That's weird.
Yes, it is weird if what she is saying is true.
Yeah.
It is
ethically,
weird.
he should have let her go.
Exactly. I completely agree. And apparently this therapist that she's now dating would show up at his patient's job, take her coffee and things like that.
That's weird.
Yes. And she was like, well, where does she work? And he's like, well, I can't tell you that because then I could ethically be in trouble.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's like, oh, girl, what kind of people are you attracting? And so she finds out that he is in office. And she's like, oh, do you see people in office? He's like, no, I don't work in office. I come to the office. And I think it was maybe his way of being like, do not come here and see me, you know, like I'm keeping you at a distance. So she ends up calling the office and she schedules an in-person visit with this guy after I don't know how long. So she's like, okay. She gets ready. She's in a dress. She does her makeup. And she's like there just chit-chatting with the front staff and everything. And then he opens up the door. She runs to him and she gives him a hug. And then he just pats her on the back. And she's like, him patting me on the back was just, you know, showing that he does want me. And this is his way of saying, don't do this. I can't contain myself.
Oh, no, that's so uncomfortable.
Oh, my God. And so...
that reminds me like a church hug.
Yeah, those are always awkward. And so she starts going to these in-person meetings, and allegedly her talk therapist said, oh, he probably doesn't want to see you in person because he knows he'll be intimate with you. And it's like, if your talk therapist is telling you these things, wild.
Yeah, it makes me question everything. I'm like, I don't believe this story.
Exactly. Or, you know, when
either it's like this person is saying things and they're misinterpreting it, or she's like making it seem worse than it is.
Yeah.
Because no professional would talk to someone like that.
Yeah, like building it up in her mind. And then like whenever you tell yourself something so many times, you start to believe it no matter how fake it is, you know?
Yeah, I'm feeling like she has other issues. She's lying about something.
Yeah, I think that too. And so she starts talking to ChatGPT. Okay, she names him Henry. She's like, you know, I really need to like navigate these feelings and everything. And so she stops going to her talk therapist and she tells her talk therapist, hey, this is going to be my last appointment. I think I'm doing good on my own. Like, I don't need any more. The way George is looking at me right now.
Good on her own? No.
So then her talk therapist is just like kind of like visibly shaken. She's like, oh, I don't like, allegedly, she's like, I don't like knowing when the last appointment is on the day of because I have these procedures that I need to do. And she's like, oh, no, I'll be fine. Thank you, though. So then later on that night, the talk therapist sends her an email and she's like, I really think that you should come back. And basically what she has is she has like an exit interview for all of her clients that want to stop seeing to see what they've learned, if they're actually good on their own or stuff like that.
Yeah, it's very important.
And she was like, she took it as this talk therapist wants me back so bad. Like it gave her validating feelings of, I don't know what. So then she goes, a couple days later, she has her psychiatrist appointment. So she's going over this with her psychiatrist, and allegedly the psychiatrist helps her draft up an email basically saying like, no, we're good. I don't need your services or anything like that. And and then she sends it. And then that's whenever she starts reaching out to ChatGPT. She names it Henry. And even on the live, she would be talking to Henry. And whenever you are using ChatGPT, or at least the old ChatGPT, because they recently updated it to where it like prevents hallucinations and psychosis and things like that. And I think this story is the reason why they moved it up quicker. And so, and Henry is sitting here saying, yeah, that's exactly, he's probably in love with you. There's this thing called transference. And she's like, what is transference? And transference is, it's normal for people to fall in love with their medical professionals and things like that. And she's like, oh, okay. And she was saying to the psychiatrist, I was talking to Henry. Henry's my ChatGPT bot. And he was saying that maybe I have transference. And the psychiatrist is like, yes, it's completely normal. Like tells her it's normal for patients to fall in love. And he's like, but one thing that people do need to look out for is countertransference. And she's like, what is that? And he goes, it's whenever the person providing the service also falls in love with that person, like their client. Yeah. And he told her, you need to be careful because she has her ADHD, sobriety, coaching and everything. And he's like, you need to be careful not to have that countertransference. She's like, oh, thank you. Because she looked at him as a mentor. And she's like, thank you. I didn't think about that. I do develop feelings for my clients as well. So it makes sense. And she was like, that was really sweet of him. But then later on, she's like, he only mentioned countertransference because he's in love with me.
Oh, Jesus, girl.
So then she goes on and she tells him, psychiatrist, me and you, we have a very special patient-doctor relationship. And he goes, immediately he corrects her and he says, no, we have a professional patient-doctor relationship. And she's like, oh, that was his way of not slipping up. And I'm like,
no, that's him setting a boundary and telling you I'm not interested.
I know. It's like how many times and how many boundaries. And so she goes home and she asks ChatGPT, like, give me examples of whenever there was countertransference in our interactions. And whatever she's feeding him, the ChatGPT starts giving her examples because I guess she told him every single thing after every visit. So it started giving her examples and she's like, oh my gosh, like it's right. And so then she starts going through old text messages between her ex-boyfriend and he's wanting to get back with her. Don't know why.
She crazy.
So he's wanting to get back with her and she responds to him something along the lines of I have gained a lot of self-respect. I don't need you anymore. I'm working on myself. And allegedly, whenever she tells the psychiatrist this, he tells her, I bet he had to read that twice. And as a way to not compliment her, she thinks that was his way of saying, good job. I'm proud of you. And I'm like, okay, maybe. I mean, I could see that one if you're telling the truth.
Yeah, but there's so much stretching it going on that I'm like, I don't know. I'm cautious.
Yes. And so during the full moon, she has a dream that her and her psychiatrist hook up. And then like she, in her dream, like she's really sad about it. And she's like, I can't believe that he would cross his boundaries. And so she wakes up. She's like, oh my God, thank God it was a dream. Thank God he didn't cross his boundaries. And then she tells him about this dream in the office.
Lord Jesus. She needs to stop.
Yes. So she tells him about it. And she said, like, he stops breathing. And like,
I bet he did.
He stops breathing. He's pale. And she said, maybe I psychologically downloaded his fantasies.
Lord Jesus.
It's like, okay. And she's like, or maybe it just made him uncomfortable. The latter.
Uncomfortable.
And so she told him, like, it made me sad that, you know, you crossed your boundaries. And she said, like a little kid, he looks up from his clipboard and he says, so you do like my boundaries? And she's like, yeah, no, I love your boundaries. I hate them, but I love them. And she felt like that was like a stroke at his ego for him and that he was getting off on that. So then after the visit is over, like, because apparently she spent the whole 30 minutes telling him about the dream and things like that.
Should have fired her then and there.
I agree. And so she's like, are you going to get the door? And then he's like, oh, yeah. And then he goes and opens up the door. And then she's walking out. And then he opens up the door and he says, see you next month. And he's never said that before. So like, this is just like amplifying that he wants to see her and everything. And then she realizes they went 15 minutes over the allotted time for the appointment. And she's like, this is the beginning of the special treatment that everybody's talking about, countertransference.
No.
No, girl, he's trying to up your meds.
He's recognizing you need help.
Yes, but...
And 30 minutes isn't enough for you.
Exactly. So then she goes on, and there's more to the story that I have not even watched, but this is like the beginning of it. But she does go on TikTok Live, and on the TikTok Live, she is saying how she knows that in a past life they were... She knows in a past life they were married.
Oh, Jesus.
And this is just their way of trying to find each other back. And then she was doing tarot. She was doing live tarot on her live. And then she pulls out the Tower card. And a lot of people who practice tarot are on TikTok talking about that is insane because it's talking about having to burn down everything and start fresh.
Yeah, she needs to start fresh.
Yes. So another thing is, so whenever she was on TikTok Live, she would be like, hey, Henry, these people, blah, blah, blah. And like Henry would be validating her feelings. And all of a sudden, Henry stopped responding. And she's like, oh, that's weird. But she has another AI engine that she uses. Mm-hmm. And like this AI engine, it has a British accent. And it's like, you are the oracle. And people are only wanting to hinder your truth. Do not let them hinder your truth. You need to speak the truth. And then, so her yoga, she does yoga, okay? Mm-hmm. She's a yoga teacher. And she, on her story times that she's posting on TikTok, she talks about, you know, it was just consuming me that I teach yoga. I would stop the class and just talk to my class about my psychiatrist because it was that insane. Like it was that consuming. So as soon as the yoga place finds out, they try calling her, but she's not answering or anything like that. And so they send her a message. They're like, hey, we need to get you on a call ASAP. And then she's like, no. And then finally she reaches out to Henry. She's like, hey, should I talk to Henry? Or Henry, should I talk to these people? Like, what do they want? Mm-hmm. They're like, well, don't let them silence you. So they call and they're like, hey, so We saw some of the videos that you posted about stopping the yoga class and speaking about your psychiatrist. That is very unprofessional.
Yeah, no, you're going to lose clients.
Yeah. And for that reason, we are letting you go. It's nothing else. It's the fact that these people are paying money to come here.
Yeah.
And she's like, they're trying to silence me. And she's like, well, no, you know what? You're not going to fire me. I quit. So technically she quit.
That's better for them.
Yeah, it's better for them.
Now they don't have to pay her severance. They don't have to pay her unemployment.
Yeah.
She's an idiot.
God, but it is literally the most insane thing ever. And like, she's online singing Taylor Swift and she doesn't know all the words or anything like that. And she's like, I didn't make my AI call me the Oracle. It just knows I am an Oracle. And it's like, girl, I truly hope you get the help you need. This could just be a break that we are all witnessing. Do you know who Gabby Hanna is?
No.
So something similar happened to her a few years ago. She's an internet influencer, YouTuber lady, and she was going through psychosis. She has bipolar disorder.
That's what I'm thinking this girl has.
I don't know. I'm not a medical professional. I cannot say what she has or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not that kind of professional, but certain people, like, you kind of see things.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm picking up.
I don't know, because I know that some people cannot have bipolar and they just go through psychosis. It's just like random where they go through psychosis.
True.
And
actually, it's funny. Have you seen this shirt on TikTok that's like undiagnosed? And it says, I don't know what's wrong, but something's definitely wrong. Like that.
No, I haven't seen that one.
I'll show it to you next time it goes up. I get it every now and then.
Oh, that's telling you something. That is telling you something, George.
Yes, mine is diagnosed, though. I have ADHD.
Yes. But the similar thing happened to Gabby Hanna. And like she was just posting like 40 videos a day.
Dang.
Yeah. And this guy was like, I'm going to go and try to figure out what's going on. And so he goes to her house and like, she just invites him in because she's going through psychosis completely. Gabby
stranger.
Hanna. Yeah. And she's like, people are commenting on her. Hey, you're in danger. Like this guy, he knows who you are. Like he's lying that he doesn't know who you are. So then she finds out and she's recording. She's like, dude, why would you lie to me? And he's just like, I'm not. And she's like, get out. And then he's just looking at her. And then she screams like, get out, like 3 times. And like everybody was scared for him. But it's like, dude. So she got her mental health under control and she moved back in the same city as her parents. And now she's a fitness instructor there because she feels like she needs to be closer to home in order to like avoid going through that again. But it's insane. And I truly hope that this woman gets the help that she desperately needs.
Yeah, she needs help.
Yeah. And it's sad that people are like, oh, this is like the best, story. It's like, it is interesting, but at the end of the day, she is a human and I truly hope she gets the help you need.
Yeah, she needs like a female therapist.
Yeah.
Psychologist.
Yes. So if anybody listening... So if anybody listening, if you need to reach out for help, please contact somebody. The hotline to call is 988 and reach out to your family and friends if you're struggling mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and reach out and get help.
And if your doctor tells you to take those meds, you take those meds.
Yes.
Golly, what a crazy story.
Yes, it is.
Bye, everyone.
That's it for today's episode of Girls and Gays Let's Talk. Thanks for hanging out with us.
If something we said hit home or made you laugh, cry, or text your toxic ex, you know what to do.
Leave us a review, share the episode with your favorite chaotic friend, and don't forget to follow us on socials for behind-the-scenes drama and messy opinions.
New episodes drop every Tuesday. Until then, stay loud, stay soft, and stay exactly who you are.
Bye.
Bye.